Hello YouTube. Um, let's start with a little backstory. So, my name is Thomas, I'm 23, I'm from Slovakia, I live in Netherlands right now for the past 5 years. I done my bachelor's and I'm in my final year of master's. I'm studying machine learning, data science, just cool stuff nowadays. We can get into it some later time. Right now it's the 26th of May, 2023. And the story starts on the 7th of April 2023. I started waking up in the middle of the night with some weird back pain, localized somewhere in the middle here from the back. Just couldn't sleep. I would wake up and I would have to stretch and it just feel weird. And this kept going on for like a week. So then on the 14th of April, I woke up with a really bad pain. I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I had to move on the couch to like sleep in this very fetal position to alleviate the pain, to just be able to sleep. And then from the 14th of April, this just kept going on. 15, 16, 17, same. Horrible pain. 15, 16 was the weekend, so on the 17th I went to the GP. I got an appointment for the 19th. Went to the GP on the 19th. He's like, "You have back pain." Many people have back pain, but it is very severe based on what you are telling me, so let's just order an x-ray. Ordered an x-ray. The next day I got an x-ray and they called the GP and they're like, "His spine looks fine, but we see some smudge in the area of his lungs." And the GP relays this information to me. I pick up, he's like, "You have something on your lungs," and they want to do another scan, a CT scan, computed tomography scan, which is basically like an x-ray, just instead of a single picture, they cut your body in like 2D slices, so you can see your body sort of through your body here and through your body there, right? You have the full 3D view in a 2D slices of your body. And he tells me that they see something on your lungs, but it's nothing to be worried about. So I take a deep breath and I'm like, my lungs are okay. I'm really not worried about this, but it's suspicious, right? Like, I called the hospital, they scheduled the CT scan for the next week, and I go there and I'm thinking, okay, there are like two options here. They either find something in the area of my lungs that's actually problematic, and that's not a good outcome, right? And at least it's hopefully going to eventually lead to treating my pain, but doesn't seem like a good outcome. The second outcome is they find nothing, and then I'm left here with horrible pain that prohibits me from sleeping at night. So that's not a good outcome either. So the fork in the road after getting the CT scan was like two grim outcomes in a way. But what can I do? Let's just do the CT scan and let's see. So we do the CT scan and they straight away schedule also an appointment with another doctor at this hospital, with a pulmonologist, the doctor that treats lung stuff. And I came to her office after the CT scan, like 2 hours later, once they look through what's going on. We have a nice little chat, just, "What are you doing? Where are you from? What do you study? La 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 la. Oh, you have back pain. That's great. How bad is it?" Basic, just. And then she pulls up my scan and goes through me sort of like this, just like bit by bit. And she's like, "Oh, here's your lungs. Here your heart comes into the picture. And here is this thing, and maybe just here's your spine, and let's don't worry." And then we go back. I'm like, "That thing you mentioned, what's that?" She's like, "Yeah, that's a pretty big tumor." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I know which fork we took. We took the fork, "Oh, we found something behind your lungs," and that something is tumor like this, pressing onto your lungs, pressing onto your heart, growing around your vertebra in your back, pressing on your nerves, which is what started the pain. And we don't really know what it is. Could be benign, could be malignant, which sort of means could be bad kind of cancer or the good kind of cancer, where we can just cut it out and it's over, or it's actually cancer, which goes through your body. And I'm just sitting there being like, whoo, life hits different. Like 30 seconds after someone tells you, "Oh, you have a tumor in your back and it's really bad," you sit there like, "Oh, I was really worried about my thesis yesterday and I really felt overwhelmed and anxious about my thesis. And right now that feels like complete bullshit. Like, what was I worrying about yesterday? I have a tumor today. Like, I'm happy to be alive. Few weeks pass, obviously. This was not the end of the diagnosis. We didn't know what it is. So then I got another MRI, and more bad news came, because we figured that the huge thing that's pressing on my lung, pressing on my heart, and growing around my vertebra is also inside my spinal canal. And it started pressing on the spinal cord. So it started pressing on the main bundle of nerves that go from your brain all the way down to your legs. And so I started losing sensations everywhere from around my chest down. Like, if right now you touch my skin, it doesn't relay the information. Like, I can feel you touched it, but it's not as a normal skin. And I started losing my legs as well. So I'm unable to jump, I'm unable to walk properly. And we did a biopsy, which is that they put a little needle into you from the back and they take out the little piece of the tumor so they can look at it under microscope. They do a bunch of they put a bunch of chemicals to see the structure, to figure out if what kind of tumor is it. Is it benign? Is it malignant? So we've waited for a few days because there are processes that need to happen with this tissue, and it's malignant. So we took another fork in the road, the bad fork. It's malignant type of cancer. It's proper cancer that's running through your system, and yeah, let's hope it's not gonna kill you. And so what we found out is that the cancer, it's Ewing Sarcoma. That's what the cancer is called. It's a quite rare type of cancer that mostly occurs in adolescents or in kids. I'm 23. We are not sure for how long it has been growing there. I'm a little too old for having it, but you look at me, you might as well say I'm 18, because I don't know, that's just how my body works. I don't look that old, so yeah, it is what it is. At this point, it's Ewing sarcoma, and once we figured that out, they put me straight away on a chemo treatment, and they know that this kind of tumor responds well to chemotherapy. It shrinks a lot, and because I was still walking, they put me straight away the next day after we figured it out on the first chemo cycle, and it did shrink. Well, we don't know if it shrank, but since then, 2 weeks passed and I'm walking better. I'm not using my cane that I started using out of nowhere. So why am I saying this? And we're already 8 minutes in, and this is sort of the genesis story of Billy. That's what I called my tumor, Billy Ewing. Maybe that's a pretty nice name. I hope Billy shrinks to oblivion, and then we can cut him out nicely and there will be an end of Billy. But this is the beginning of Billy. This is the start, and I would like to document this journey, mostly to have some sort of a objective look at how I was feeling and how the whole journey looked like, and also to sort of provide a look into how it works, how to go through chemo, how to handle having cancer at 23 out of nowhere, and how it changes your life, how it changes your outlook on what the future holds, and maybe how you live your life. There is I think a lot to talk about, both from like a philosophical perspective, from a research perspective, from like the medical academic perspective of how we use the chemo, why it works, what sort of supplements you can take to counter the side effects of chemo, etc., etc. I've already read a lot, and I plan to sort of share and explain what I have figured out from the literature and what I have tried and I feel like works. So that's the goal with this channel. That's also the goal to share my journey, and maybe when someone else, younger kids or some people like me, get Ewing sarcoma, they go on YouTube, they search for Ewing sarcoma, and they're like, oh, okay, this dude went through it, he survived, fingers crossed, and he documented everything, and I know what to expect. I know that this is manageable and I can do it. And so that's why am I here. This is the very beginning, the very first video, the intro to the channel, the story, the genesis of Billy Ewing, and we continue from here on. So I have done my first chemo treatment. I'm starting my second in 2 days. Today is Friday, the 26th of May, and I'm starting the next one on the 29th. And I'm shooting this video because, well, let me show you. Yeah, this started. So it took 2 weeks from the first chemo treatment. And yeah, I'm finishing here and I'm gonna cut my hair. And I see you in the next one. Bolt. New Thomas. Billy is winning for now, but Billy will die. And I'll get out of this and I'll just document how it goes. So thanks for being here and see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.